right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome inside the Fan Cave. This is the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Bob Pompeani here. Andrew Fillipponi joins me up at 93.7 The Fan, and we want to hear from you. So call us. You can also hit us up on X or Twitter. It's at KDPomp at the Pony Express. On a day after the Steelers go on the road and come away with a win, and their defense forced 5 takeaways. That normally will get the job done, although yesterday it almost didn't. 5 takeaways, 5 sacks. Great beginning, really solid end. In the middle, a lot of things that they need to improve upon, but you know, they got to win. And there are a lot of teams in the NFL who are right now winless and would love to have that record. So Andrew, what's your biggest takeaway from that game yesterday?
Well, my biggest takeaway was that you had defensive stars who had been, kind of missing in action, who stepped up and came through. T.J. Watt had his best game so far, 2 sacks. Cam Hayward directly caused 2 Patriots possessions to go from touchdowns to turnovers. So he stepped up big after all the offseason soap opera and then not having a very good start in the Jets game in week 1 and fans coming out of the woodwork to criticize him. Derek Harmon, your first-round pick, made a very good first impression in this game. I thought Nick Herbig went in for Alex Highsmith, played a fantastic game. I thought the guys who came in off the bench, Jabril Peppers and Cole Holcomb, they both forced fumbles. So they gave up yards, but who cares about that? I'm watching the Ravens right now. They're not only giving up yards, they're giving up touchdowns. Yeah. They're giving up 98 yards, 95-yard touchdowns. Bob, you know how many teams on the road in the NFL won yesterday? 3. That's it in the entire league. And the Steelers are one of them, and they won the game by a touchdown. So there are things that need to get better, but to rip them to shreds because they beat a team by a touchdown when most people predicted them to lose, I believe is a little bit hypocritical.
Yeah, listen, you got to get a win however you get it. That's the most important thing. Of all the stats we talk about, it's wins at the end of it. So they are 2-1. One guy I want to mention that didn't get enough, I thought, attention was Daniel Ekuale, another guy who was a former Patriot. We talked a lot about Jabril Peppers, but he played a good game when he got in there. You talked about guys coming off the bench. But, yeah, you have to win those games however you can do it. Now, is there a lot to improve upon? Sure. T.J. Watt addressed that today. We were over there, and he talked about how you just can't give up these kind of long 17-play 92-yard drives and expect a turnover to bail you out. They did yesterday, but they have to certainly tighten up on that. So that'll be looking up next against Minnesota, which is a team that comes in here after a 14-win season last year. They don't have their starting quarterback, although he's a rookie. This might actually be better for Minnesota going with Carson Wentz now that he has a game under his belt. So that may not be what people thought originally. They're also missing their top running back, but they still rushed for 169 yards yesterday against a bad Cincinnati team. So this is going to be an interesting game next week in Dublin.
Well, it's a big step up in competition because of what you just said. This team won 14 games last year. And the teams they've played so far this season, all 3 of them missed the playoffs last season. Seattle won double-digit games but made a quarterback change. Now, so did Minnesota. Darnold's in Seattle now. But Carson Wentz has been in the MVP running before. He's beaten the Steelers before when he was in Philadelphia very early in his career. They also forced 5 turnovers yesterday. I don't hear people saying that the Vikings played a lucky game against Cincinnati, forcing 5 turnovers, and a couple of them getting returned by Rodgers for touchdowns. This is going to be tough. The last time Aaron Rodgers faced Brian Flores in Europe, in London, it went very poorly for Aaron Rodgers. Those blitzes really were a pain in the neck for Aaron Rodgers. And he lost that chess match and turned the ball over way more than he usually does. So he's got to really look at that this week, and they got to make some changes on offense in terms of once they get away from that script. The script's been very good, Bob. Remember how bad that Matt Canada script was at the beginning of games?
Terrible.
This opening script has done well.
They
the
scored.
Opening script, I thought, was tremendous.
Last week, this week, and twice in the first 2 possessions yesterday. So then all of a sudden
So
it goes bad after that, and you have to be able to – I thought there was some pretty good play calling in there. I thought the pitch to Gainwell was a nice one. The first drive was good. But it's got to be more than that, and they have to involve more people. So far, just 2 wide receivers got involved yesterday. That's it. A couple of tight ends, but not all that much. And they got fortunate that the fumble there by Jonnu Smith got out of bounds, because that could have been a massive change.
Well, what's going on with Jonnu Smith? I mean, Jonnu Smith was advertised as this great run after the catch guy. He's averaging 5 yards a catch. He's literally been, I believe, the least efficient tight end of any tight end in the NFL through the first 3 games, where he's catching the balls that are thrown to him. But other than that little kind of pitch running play against the Jets that he scored a touchdown on, in that throw over the middle from Aaron Rodgers for a first down yesterday, he's done almost nothing in this Steelers offense. And Darnell Washington, Bob, other than at the goal line, where is he in the Steelers offense? No catches through 3 games.
Yeah, and I think that's a guy that you should absolutely target. It proved to be beneficial yesterday with a PI. So we got to take a break on that note. We're going to talk a lot about a baseball question we're going to have up for you in our poll of the night. We're going to get into that and more as we continue. You're watching the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We are live right here on KDKA+. Hey, well, welcome back. This is our Xfinity tweet of the night. And, man, it says what it has to say, and Pittsburgh Pirate fans should be encouraged, because Baseball America's Minor League Player of the Year is none other than 19-year-old Connor Griffin. The best such stat line that you're going to find from someone in the minors who won this distinction all the way back to Vlad Guerrero Jr. back in 2018. He put up big numbers, and our poll question tonight will be one that concerns him, and that is simply this: should Connor Griffin be in the Pirates' lineup opening day next season? That's 2026. They need bats. He certainly can provide that. He's 19, sure, but we've seen some teenagers and 20-year-olds come up and make a difference here, and there are a lot of conversation about whether or not they should already sign him to some kind of contract, not unlike Jackson Churio of Milwaukee. Let us know what you think. That is a KDK.com/connect poll brought to you by Penn West University. Andrew, my answer to that is yes. Given what's at stake with the pitching and how good it's been this year also, they blew a lot of games. They were involved in a lot of one-run games. More bats would have made a difference. I think he has to be up here. Do you agree?
Well, I don't, because he didn't play at AAA. I mean, they did not give him a chance to play there this year. The AAA season ran out of time. The Indian season's over. He never got a shot to go play at that level. So I'd like to see him do that.
And sort of like a page out of the Jared Jones jump from AA to the majors. They see something in spring training they like, let's say he goes down there and has a great spring training. Well,
how did that jump for Jack Sawinski go? Now he's a 120 hitter when he completely originally bypassed AAA.
But
and I hope that he's much better. But
given what's at stake with his pitching staff, you need bats. And unless they go out and just find 4 bats, 3 bats, whatever the case may be, legitimate bats, he's an internal answer.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying keep him down to AAA the entire season, but I think he should start there, and then if he's good, be up by May. Let's see if he can play well there for a month, month and a half, and if he does, if he kills it at that level, well, then he comes up and he plays the outfield or plays shortstop for you. I'm distracted right now because the Ravens missed a field goal, and they counted it, Bob. They counted this kick. It was absolutely missed. They showed it on replay, and I don't know what went on here, the mechanism in place, where it went to the right. You could see it cross the goalpost, and they ruled it good. The Ravens kicked the ball back off. They got a free 3 points here in this game against the Lions. Unacceptable.
I'd have to see that
by the officiating crew and the replay people.
I don't understand how that went. I mean, with all the cameras and technology
just
they
happened.
have. Well, so that makes it 28-24. Is that the score?
Yep.
All right, that could be a Super Bowl preview. Those are very good teams, 2 great quarterbacks, pinpoint with accuracy. I thought there were some really good passes there. Touchdown from Jackson to Andrews, and then Goff to St. Brown after that, right on the money.
Now, when you say that, do you know something I don't, where the NFL is instituting a rule that gives the Ravens a bye all the way to the Super Bowl? Because they have done very little, Bob, to tell me that they are capable of winning playoff games when John Harbaugh melts down in some of these big moments, and so too does Lamar Jackson. And last year you had a trickle-down effect where Mark Andrews forgot how to catch a football in that playoff game against the Bills. Right. So I just do not see it ever happening for them.
Well, I mean,
in Baltimore.
They have too much talent to think it can't happen. They've had miscues, obviously, but even if they don't get a bye, they're just so talented. I got to believe they're going to be in a situation where they can make a run.
Well, where's that defensive talent? I mean, they're giving up big plays left and right
so
here.
Are the
Bills
Lions
in week 1.
So are the Lions. And they have Aiden Hutchinson back. So bottom line is these are good offenses. The offenses might be better than their own defenses. So, I mean, that's a big recipe for big-time success, I think. We got to go to the phone lines, Andrew, so let's do it with our number one Cochrane Go One Better caller of the night. We'll begin with Will in McKees Rocks. Will, good evening, and thanks for calling.
Oh, thanks for taking my call as always, bro.
Sure.
I wanted to talk about the Steelers, and I had a question for you both. Going to Ireland this Sunday morning, being the fact that it's such a long travel, to get there, and with the time change, can you expect them to possibly both sides of the ball come out real flat?
Well, both teams are going to be operating in the same kind of situation. I think the NFL has a lot of control over what goes on in this. They are preparing as if it's sort of like a Super Bowl. All these games, I think 7 international games out there this year. Andrew, they had one in Brazil. They're going to go to Berlin. They're going to go to Spain, all these places. So the NFL has a big say in, the logistics of it. So, yeah, they're going to get out there on Friday morning. They'll have a day of practice, then Saturday to regroup, and then play on Sunday. Whether or not it's an issue, we'll see. It was the last time, at least some people felt so, including players, that there wasn't enough time. But again, if the league is taking control of this, Andrew, I don't know what else you can do.
Well, as long as it's even on both sides, as long as Minnesota's not getting there on Monday or Tuesday,
they're not.
They've got the whole week to get used to it, and they're not. So, do I think it could happen? Yes. Do I think that if it happens to one team and not the other, it can be used as an excuse? Absolutely not, because it's a level playing field. They're both operating under the same set of rules here. But I do think it's possible that it takes both teams, a little bit of time to get used to their surroundings, and the fast start we saw from the Steelers against the Patriots doesn't happen against Minnesota this week.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I think it's going to be a heck of a game. I really do, and it'll be a better barometer for the Steelers of exactly where they are taking on a team like that, especially going up against two really good minds. Brian Flores on defense, Kevin O'Connell on offense, and you're right what you said. Carson Wentz has the experience, and even though he's a backup technically, he's been through a number of these things, and I think with one game under his belt, that should help him in week number 2 for him. Let's go out to Brad in Brookline. Hey, Brad, how are you?
Hey, guys. Pony, what's your point here? You think the Steelers, you think it was a good victory yesterday? I mean, I heard you on the radio this afternoon. There's so many red flags on this team. I mean, defensively, they're old. They can't get off the field. New England game the game.
They gave up 14 points.
Oh, come on. I mean, they turned the ball over at the goal
they forced the turnovers.
Right.
They did force the turnovers, but, I mean, come on. I mean, it was given.
That's not part of the game?
What do you mean given to them? They didn't hand the ball to the Steelers defenders and say, here, have it.
You're so delusional.
Brad, they forced the turnovers. That's what they were supposed to do.
Call Bob delusional then, too, because we're on the same page here, man.
Yeah, I mean, I acknowledge, and so do you, I'm sure, Andrew, that they have to get better. They can't allow those kinds of yards, especially because you can't count on turnovers every single time you play. Certainly not 5. And yes, New England had the reputation that they fumbled, but guess what? The Steelers made that an issue, and they worked to do it, and they did it. So, you can say whatever you want, but they came away with very big plays at critical times. Do you want to see them drive 92 yards? No. Do you want to see a 12, 17-play drive? No. But yesterday they survived it and advanced.
I mean, if those drives end with the team scoring no points, I'm fine with it. I know you can't live that way week to week, but there are some teams that are good at forcing turnovers, and there's some that aren't. I mean, they've been, and they should be, based on the amount of money that they've spent on those guys. They force turnovers. Okay, they've got guys that go after the ball. So I don't understand why fans are upset that they went into a game that was in Vegas a pick. Everybody thought this was a game that could go either way. They won by a touchdown. They held the team to 14 points. They sacked the quarterback 5 times, and they took the ball away 5 times. How is that a bad job defensively? If I had said to you on the pregame show and to Batch and to Dulac and to Richie, hey, New England's only going to score 14 points, would you guys have taken that?
Oh, yeah.
I think everybody would have.
Yeah, no question.
So why is everybody so up in arms about it?
Just because people want perfection, and even that's not good enough sometimes.
It's the NFL.
I know, you're 2-1 again.
It's not Pitt versus Duquesne.
What do you think, not Jared Goff, Jordan Love looked awful yesterday, and I think Cleveland's defense is really good, but come on. He made some awful plays forced by the defense. Does that mean he's a bad quarterback? No, that means the Browns can win every given Sunday. Things can happen. You look around the league, you see some of those results, and you say to yourself, how did this occur? How did the Eagles, down 19 points late in the third quarter, come back and beat a very good Rams team?
Great points. Everyone loves Tampa all of a sudden, you included.
Yes.
And that's fine. They've won 3 games by 6 points. Every single game is, yes. But my point is, people should be consistent on it. If you're going to say, hey, look out for Tampa, you got to acknowledge the fact that every single game has come down to a field goal at the end, all 3.
And I would reverse that.
And somebody missed one.
On Brad, the caller who called earlier, I would say this. Would you rather have the Steelers have a decisive advantage in yards and yet turn the ball over 5 times? And then what would you say to that?
No.
You know, that's
of course,
that's
everybody would be killing them for it if it happened. And by the way, Detroit's going to win this game, it looks like, Bob. They're driving to score again here. Yeah,
they're a pretty good offense. I thought Baltimore would win tonight. We're due for a break. We'll take it. We have Dean and Nancy coming up next right here on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. We're live, KDKA+. We're back. Going back to the phone lines, we have Dean in Pittsburgh is next up. Go ahead, Dean. What's up?
Thanks for taking a call. I was listening to your discussion on the Steelers defense and the turnovers, and hopefully you acknowledge that there's a degree of luck in this because there's no play that they call and say,
sure,
let's put in the turnover play.
Yeah.
They have a constant effort, and they occasionally get lucky by getting a finger on the ball, and the offense making mistakes and creating opportunities. But,
Yeah, I think that's right, Dean. And you have to recover 4 fumbles. Also, Jonnu Smith fumbled and went out of bounds. It would have been a killer turnover. Rodgers fumbled early in the game. It was nullified by a penalty, but that happens. But again, you have to make plays. You're making it sound like they had a role in this. They stepped up at critical times.
Did anybody say when Kurt Warner threw the ball right to James Harrison, oh, lucky play? I don't remember that. And by the way, speaking of fumbles, Derrick Henry just fumbled again.
No, he did.
And the Lions recovered and kicked a field goal to go up a touchdown, Bob. How about that?
How much time is left?
About 5 minutes.
All right, there's still
6
time.
minutes.
We'll see. Maybe overtime. Too bad that game is on opposite us, Pony, because we may have to watch this back tomorrow. Thanks for your time. See you tomorrow night. That's going to do it for us. Thank you for joining us on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. See you at 11 on KDK, and have a good night.